Okay, that's fine. But what else doesn't work? Wait, let me get on one more thing with
Okay.
this. This is how I'm going to end the conversation on Ruth right now. Ready?
Oh, we're still on poor Ruth.
Julia, greater than sign, Ruth. I was actually in the theater getting
You're
so,
sick.
no, I'm not. I was getting so mad. I was like, they're really going to have him end up with Ruth. I'm like, this is the path they're taking. I'm like, first of all, Ruth sucks. Every time Julia's in it, I'm like, oh, thank God. Like she's bringing something fun. She's got like this, whatever. And also, not for nothing, Julia knows his deepest, darkest secrets, and she's still cool with that. And I like that. And that's ride or die as hell. And Ruth, nah, she don't care. Her fiance died. She don't care. She actually sucks.
We are learning so much about each other from this review because I don't agree with any of that. I thought Ruth was such a sweet person.
When I tell you I was fully eye rolling when they were like, oh, we're doing our engagement. I had my eyes, like I missed a whole 3 minutes of the movie because I was eye rolling for so long. I was like, we are introduced to Julie in the beginning as this is the love of my life. When they're children.
When they're
Yeah.
children, and there was also clearly something up with her. He also said that he never saw her again. So they never, which obviously is metaphorical because then she becomes integral later on. But she obviously like was only like the love of his life for that moment when he was a kid, which we even see that there's something off with her when she was a kid because she's so interested in his money. She's a terrible person.
Nah.
She is only out there to take his money and do some really bad shit. And I'll since this is still like one of the things that did work for me, I want to talk about the ending real quick because I cannot see how the ending of this movie doesn't infuriate you.
No, it made me so happy.
I
was
don't
hyped.
understand.
I literally was like, yes, yes. Because first of all, Ruth sits there, drops the locket, and it goes away. I'm like, yeah, fair. And you know what? Good play to you, Ruth. Finally, you do something where you have half a backbone. You care. You care enough to show up in your shitty Honda, which you definitely don't have a shitty Honda. There's no way by the end of this that like that's what you're driving.
Why?
Billionaire. She was married to a billionaire. Yeah, for like 2 weeks.
Because she's humble. She doesn't like money. You said it yourself.
Anyways,
she's not comfortable with money.
So then, yeah, how is she? But she's been around it for so long. It's stupid. Julia, he turns and Julia's there. And I was like, Queen, let's go. That's exactly what he deserved. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing or a good thing necessarily.
Yes, that's what he deserved. Yeah, I agree.
That's what he deserved. But the way that they look at each other, I'm like, honestly, that's a ride or die, girl. And he even is like, all right. I'm like, yeah, this is a good life for you right now. No, but this is a good life for him right now.
No, it's not.
Yeah, he got exactly.
He knows that.
You got to be careful what you wish for, and you know what? You get what you deserve, and that's what happened.
Right, he gets what he deserves, which is not a good thing. It's telling you, and
he'll be
and again,
fine.
just to clarify, this is one of the things I do like about the movie is that it's telling you that this guy who was killing these people, who by the way, I would argue they go out of their way for each victim to make them not be like that bad of people. And
except for Noah, he sucks.
I mean, he's a dick, but like, they're all dicks, but
yeah,
none of them are like
bad.
None of them except for the first one, who I don't even remember his name to be honest. He's the only one that came off as like, okay, I don't care about you. But also, I feel like you also get the least with him. But all of them are not terrible people, and he's killing them. And the whole point of this ending is to show you like he's a bad person at heart.
Yeah.
He did some bad stuff, and what he gets at the end is not a good thing. It's what he deserves, which yes, that's what you said. And what he deserves is to be with this person who completely messed up his life beyond belief. And it was almost comeuppance.
Comeuppance?
It kind of reminded me of OJ, where because he gets off with, he doesn't get convicted for killing his wife, even though everyone knows he did it, and then later on he ends up in jail for something different. That's how the character of Glen Powell plays out.
I will make one argument though. This movie tells us very early on in the beginning, you can't buy happiness, but like you actually can. That's literally what they
Yeah,
say.
yeah. He said, "Come on, we'll be adults." That was almost my quote of the movie.
Yeah,
but-
yeah. Let's be adults here. Here's the thing.
yeah, yeah.
That's exactly what happens. In the end, he'll buy his happiness. He's fine.
No, but that's the. Oh, I see it so differently that he got into a situation where he actually can't buy his happiness because now he's stuck with this person. Like,
Listen.
he extended his happiness and everything, and now he's just stuck with this awful person.
She's a girl boss. Put some respect on her name. That's a smart woman.
So do we want girl bosses to be people who frame people for murder? Who she definitely killed her husband, by the way.
Okay, so what? She's got 1 murder. He's got 7.
Yeah, they're both bad people.
And so
They're-
why isn't she allowed to be a bad person that we root for, but he is?
I don't root for either of them. That's
Oh.
my whole point.
Boo!
I don't root for either of them. That's my whole
Okay.
thing. And to be
So
honest,
that's what
like
didn't work
if we
for you.
if we get into what didn't work, it was the first, I would say almost first half of the movie where they really play it for pure fun of him just killing people. And I'm sitting there like, okay, I get why it's fun for me, but he's a terrible person, and I think this movie's on his side. And then it wasn't until the second half where they have his character, what is it, his uncle, right?
Yeah, Warren.
Who is the nicest person in the movie, nicest person in the family.
Doesn't make sense that he raised that son. Another plot hole.
I mean, his son was the first victim, right?
Yeah, and his son sucks. And then he treats Beckett so well. So I'm like, how's this the same guy?
Yeah. So all right. So you have the first guy who's complete asshole, and he's the son of the nicest person in the family.
Yeah.
Who is
Gives Beckett a chance to like really make something of himself.
Yeah.
Like in the right way.
Right.
Essentially.
And there's a heartbreaking scene when he's promoting Beckett and telling him he's such a good person because he doesn't know that Beckett killed his son. And that to me was the turning point when I started to understand that no, the movie is not justifying these murders.
Yeah.
The movie it's looking at him while the dad of the dead son who Beckett killed is telling everyone how awesome of a person Beckett is. And Beckett's just sitting there like, uh-oh, like
Yeah.
I'm starting to
Well,
understand what I did.
I feel like what you're watching throughout the movie is Beckett carved 2 paths for himself. He has the path of the right way, which has the right way, the boring way, boo, right? The not easy way, boo. Where you have Ruth and you have Warren and you have his job where he makes money and he actually works his way up the ladder. Like they tell you after he starts his job that he genuinely like figures out how it works.
Right, yeah.
Right? So he's like actually earning his promotions and stuff like that.
You're talking about Beckett.
With a drop of nepotism. Yes.
Okay.
And then the other path Beckett is forming is the one where he's killing people
Mm-hmm.
and he's seeing Julia once in a while just pop up with her legs, and he's got the 2 paths he can go down. And that's like what the movie is really like positing here.
Right.
That he has 2 different ways he can go, and he keeps carving the path of like the bad way while also carving the path of the good way, and it only comes to a head when he has to actually pick, which I think is like obviously just exemplified with the cars. Like Ruth like drives away and she's like, yeah, this path is no longer open to you.
Yeah.
Since you have that over there.
Yeah. But I don't look, I think the ending is cathartic. It's one of those examples of like a cathartic ending that doesn't necessarily have to be happy, because I don't see it as happy. He's sitting in the car devastated that he's now stuck with the person that framed him for murder, and he almost was executed like what felt like moments earlier, which, by the way, another thing that does not work for me is the passage of time in this movie.
Oh, yeah. Wait. How sad can you be when you're popping a bottle of champagne in the back of the car?
When you're also crying while doing it and narrating about how you get what you deserve.
I'm just saying, it was cathartic for me in a happy way.
That's crazy.
You know what?
Well,
give me an anti-hero. Let's go. He had, honestly, so what I've heard is this movie is very similar to No Other Choice. And I'm going to be watching that this week.
Is
and
that,
I wish I could compare
Park
it.
Chan-wook?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Park Chan-wook, he put out a film and it's basically the same premise. Yeah. But I'm going to watch it because I love Park Chan-wook. You know this.
Yeah.
So I've heard it's a very similar storyline. So I was using the title of that to justify. He had no other choice.
Well, there's another movie that comes to mind that also has an extremely similar plot, if not the same exact plot that we actually mentioned last week, Saltburn.
Oh, yeah.
Which is almost the same exact thing. It's someone killing, granted he's not part of the family, but he's systematically killing people to take over. And I feel like in that movie, I had a very similar feeling at the end where I felt cathartic because we got where we realistically should be in the movie. But I'm also not happy that he just wiped out this whole family. It's
In
messed
these
up.
movies, in these Eat the Rich movies, why is the poor person always evil?
It's not that they're evil. It's that two wrongs don't make a right. And that's the whole idea is like, okay, you can have this noble mentality that you're doing the right thing. But the whole idea is in the end of the day, if you're killing people, you're killing people. And that's not good. And I think both of these movies have very similar views on these characters. Now we get to something like,
Damn, I like the end of that one, though, too. I was happy for him dancing through the house.
I like the end too, but again, like similar to this one where I'm like, I feel cathartic, but I don't feel like this guy is a good guy just because I feel cathartic at the end. I'm like, no, he's terrible.